Over 1 million dead since 1999 from drug-related overdoses. In 2021 alone, that number reached 106,669. Despite everything that we're doing as a society, these numbers are getting worse. You're here to find out why, so let me paint you a picture. Here we are in 2023 post-COVID. You're in a city with hundreds of people walking along Main Street in downtown. Hands are filled with bags from shopping, local restaurants are hopping, and everyone is going about their business, seemingly enjoying themselves. But as the caring, aware, and observant person you are, you see someone out of the corner of your eye. They are covered in dirt and grime on their face and hands. Their clothes are worn and ragged, and they look like they're having a rough go of it. They are lying down on the sidewalk and look pretty uncomfortable, but aren't moving, and in fact, they don't look like they're breathing. Maybe you see a piece of foil, a syringe, or a pipe. Everyone keeps walking by as if it's nothing new. Do you take action? Do you keep watching to see if someone else does something? Do you go about your day and convince yourself someone else is going to help? Or do you put it out of your mind? Maybe pause the video and think about what you do. If you'd like, leave me a comment. This scene is all too familiar. Where I'm from, police officers are trained to administer Narcan, an opioid antagonist used to temporarily pull people out of an overdose. They keep it on hand at all times. Handcuffs, gun, badge, and Narcan. There aren't enough addiction counselors, mental health professionals, or caseworkers to manage the crisis we're facing, so it spills over onto the streets. We receive daily updates in the news, and our emergency response system is overwhelmed. The part that makes this even more tragic, besides for the millions of families that have been impacted by lost loved ones, is that the numbers I gave you earlier doesn't include people who have died by other causes attributed to drugs, such as accidents, crime, violence, diseases, and poor health choices. And we can't forget the fact that addiction is preventable. We even have the knowledge to put systems in place for early intervention. Instead, we're so overwhelmed, we can only focus on treating the problem after it's already taken hold. It's like putting a Band-Aid on an arterial bleed. This is where you come in. We could reverse the growing death rate. My hope is that you'll take this information and share it with at least one person, because as a society, we've become desensitized to it. We have to talk more. If you're enjoying this content, go ahead and boop that like button. Boop. So why do people use drugs in the first place, and can't someone choose not to become addicted? What about recreational or moderate use? Is that a thing? To answer these questions, we need to look at the theory. For the rest of this video, I'll present 3 foundational theories of addiction and include what I've learned through my education and experience as an addiction counselor. Addiction theory is a framework for understanding the underlying causes and mechanisms of addiction. It encompasses a wide range of disciplines, including psychology, neuroscience, sociology, philosophy, and biology. The goal of addiction theory is to provide a comprehensive understanding of addiction that can inform prevention, treatment, and policy interventions. One of the key concepts of addiction theory looks at the reward pathway in the brain. These pathways are activated by pleasurable experiences such as eating, drugs, sex, and socializing. When these pathways are activated repeatedly, they can become sensitized, leading to an increased desire for the pleasurable experience. This is the basis for the theory of drug addiction, which suggests that repeated drug use leads to changes in the brain's reward pathways that make the individual more susceptible to addiction. Through time, the brain gets desensitized, requiring more pleasure to reach the desired effect. We call this tolerance, although the process is far more complicated. Another important concept in addiction theory is the idea that stress leads to increased need for coping mechanisms. People turn to drugs or other addictive behaviors as a way of coping with stress, trauma, or other difficult life events. This is known as the self-medication theory of addiction, and it suggests that addiction can be a way of coping with underlying emotional and psychological issues. The biopsychosocial model is yet another widely accepted theory of addiction that suggests that addiction is the result of a complex interaction between biological, psychological, and social factors. Biological factors such as genetics and brain chemistry can predispose individuals to addiction. Psychological factors such as personality traits, sensitivity to stress, and underdeveloped coping mechanisms can influence an individual's susceptibility to addiction. Finally, social factors such as family dynamics, peer pressure, social norms, and work expectations can also play a role in the development of addiction. So now that we have reviewed theory, we understand that medications can ameliorate some symptoms to help a person learn how to de-stress their life, build new coping skills, and learn how to make healthy decisions about what relationships they want to be in. Addiction has been described as a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that has been the focus of extensive research over the years. It affects millions of people of all ages and backgrounds, and it doesn't discriminate. Anyone can develop a substance use disorder. So to answer the questions from before, can people use moderately or recreationally? The answer is yes. Can a person choose not to become addicted? The answer is no.
So you get to decide, is it worth the risk?
If you want to see more of our videos, go ahead and subscribe to our channel because we have lots of them coming out.